Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to another video. First of all, welcome to my front room. Welcome to my lounge. I've just decided to move the location of this video just because it's on my couch, it's in my living room, it's cozy and it's warm in here. So without further ado, welcome to another video. We're doing a little quick fun one today, nothing too serious. Probably, going off the title, you could probably already guess, knowing me, what my albums are. But yeah, this is a quick video of my top 10 albums of all time. These are 10 albums that for me are literally perfect. Every track, give or take one or two that might be skippable, but still they're not in order. When I say it's a top 10, it's not like 10, the first one you see is 10 and the last one is 1. No, I can literally chop and change any order that these albums go in. So yeah, without further ado, the following albums are my top 10 albums of all time. In my opinion, nothing will beat them. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Obviously, the album that always keeps popping up in these videos, and I can't stress enough for you to go listen to it, Iron Maiden's debut album. I mean, let's just get this one out of the way. Like I keep saying, if you've seen any of my content in the past, you'll know that I reign this album above all others. What else is there to say about this album that I haven't already said? I mean, literally, like I said before, minus one track. Yeah, can you guess, if you're unfamiliar, can you guess which one it is? It's the last song. I would much rather listen to Running Free rather than Iron Maiden. I think Iron Maiden is the worst song on this album. It's just never excited me. Ever, but everything else on this album is goddamn amazing. The opening track, Prowler, just really gives you that raw, well not raw, but this punky edge of just, early Iron Maiden really. And then Remember Tomorrow, track 2, and gets into a ballad, sort of, which is, they do that weirdly quite a lot. But Running Free, the single, just a quick 3-minute commercial success album song. That one, first bit of TV. Was it TV or radio? One or the other. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because we're all here for track 4, Phantom of the Opera. Oh, honest to God, I love that song so much. That is the definitive Iron Maiden song. No, in my opinion, no other Maiden song will beat that one. I'm sorry, fight me on it, I don't care. Listening to The Rock's 2000 countdown, we've just started week 3. I heard Phantom of the Opera today at 847, and I was like, nah, it should have been higher. I remember one year it came in at like 400 and I nearly fainted. But yeah, literally, Transylvania, Strange World, Charlotte Heart, they're all fantastic songs, other than Iron Maiden, of course. Highly recommended. Please go listen to Iron Maiden's first album. If you're only familiar with The Number of the Beast, that's all good, but just please give this one a listen. Moving on, another typical album I think that I've brought up quite a bit. I have a video fully devoted to this album, and it's my favorite all-time symphonic metal album, and that is Nightwish's Imaginarium. Of course. If you've seen my Nightwish ranking, then you'll know that I reign this album above all other Nightwish albums as well. Purely because it's got the first song of Nightwish that I ever heard, Storytime, which is pretty much the definitive Nightwish song. It sums up the band brilliantly. It's 5 minutes long, and it's just pure symphonic heavy metal. It's absolutely fantastic. There are other songs on this album that obviously need to get talked about. Ghost Love River, Slow Love Slow, which is a really weird jazz thing, which doesn't actually fit the tone of the album, but at the same time, it freaking does. It took me a while to have that song grow on me, but eventually I fell in love with it. I Want My Tears Back, this Iron Maiden dance of deathy, like flute fiddle song, real folky, that's the word I'm looking for, folk, real good. Scare Tale and Arabesque are probably, I can never remember which is which. I think it's Scare Tale that is the better one with the double bass drums and yes, and actual words in it, whereas Arabesque is just an instrumental. Still good though, but yeah. Turn Loose Mermaids, this beautiful acoustic song, just really, really nice, and just coming off the first half of the album, it's quite nice to have a acoustic song thrown in there. The song on this album that I would skip is Rest Calm. It's not my favorite song. It never has been. Don't know why. I've just never gelled with that song, to be honest. But everything else after that is great. The Crow, the Owl, and the Dove, The Last Ride of the Day, which is just the phenomenal way to end the album. Well, I'll say to end the album. That's not how they end the album, but it's a great way to I can't think of the word, but it's a cool song. It's a fantastic song. It's got a key change at the end, and everything about it is just great. Song of Myself, and which is like this 12-minute epic Nightwish closer. But then you get hit with the title track, Imaginarium, which is like the closing credits rather, the orchestral version of all these little themes throughout the album. Honestly, it's such a beautiful album. It's and I don't get why people don't like it. Obviously, Annette is not Talia, but still, it's a fantastic album and should be praised way more than it is. So yeah, the next one, Nightwish, Imaginarium. Next up is probably the first album that made me sort of kind of realize what a electric guitar was at the age of probably 12, 13 in the humble year of 2005, and that is the pop punk classic American Idiot. But obviously this is a bit heavier than a classic pop punk. I'll tell you, people who roast these guys, you know, fine, I'm part of that clan too. However, this album in particular, I'm pretty sure, don't lie to yourself, was this not one of your gateway albums into like heavier music, coming off whatever it was you found, what you enjoyed before heavy music? This is the gateway album, mostly. American Idiot, the song, just blew up all over the airwaves, all over the TV. It was an absolutely phenomenal song. And then you get hit with the rest of the album, which pretty much blow the American Idiot song way out the door. Songs like Jesus of Suburbia, the epic 9-minute, I don't know, story saga song. It's just fantastic. It's so good. Obviously, we all know what the singles are of this album. Holiday, Wake Me Up, when September ends, Boulevard, American, I think that's it. Yeah, including American, it's 5 of them. Yeah, but they're all great songs. We all love and we all know love them. But everything else, like sides C and D, for example, is just great. Give Me a Novocaine, which is this weird, calm. It's almost like, I imagine, it's called Give Me a Novocaine, so it kind of sounds like what being on heroin would be like, in a way. Not like in a Planet Caravan, Black Sabbath kind of way, but just in a sluggish type way. I don't know, I've never done heroin, could you believe it? But yeah, I know, loser. My favorite song on here has to be Let It Bomb. Let It Bomb's a great song, but honest to God, this album, purely perfect. The only stupid song on this album is Extraordinary Girl. Again, just never liked it. It's never been a good song, and to this day, it's still not a good song. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Green Day, American Idiot. And if you're a fan of Green Day's American Idiot, then you pretty much, well, I mean, it all depends what kind of path you went down as a kid, really. But obviously, I kind of went down this path as well. Not as hard as American Idiot, but still, over the years have grown in a massive appreciation for this album, and that is The Black Parade. Obviously, those two albums, this and American, they kind of go hand in hand. I mean, what is there to say, again, about this album that hasn't been said before? It's absolutely phenomenal. Green Day is pretty much a concept album, as is this. This one's more of a concept than American Idiot, I reckon, but still, there are some incredible songs off this album alone. The Welcome to the Black Parade, the song, just, that G-note piano, that final chorus, that young boy marching thing, you know, the intro, so good. But other than that, Dead is the best song. I reckon Dead is the best song. However, obviously the Black Parade song is amazing too, but Dead is actually phenomenal. Other songs like This is How I Disappear, great song. Sharpest Lives, awesome stuff. But then all that other weird stuff, like in the second half of the album, Sleep, Cancer, House of Wolves, they're all so cool. And like I say, they tell the story of someone dying of cancer and basically pretty much reliving like all his memories throughout each song. And obviously Famous Last Words, the ending song. Really, really great stuff. Honestly, I probably don't need to tell you to listen to this album because you probably have already done it. But still, if you're one of these people that just happen to miss this album, please go listen to it. It's so good. Welcome to the Black Parade. Well, actually, this album is called The Black Parade, but still, My Chemical Romance is The Black Parade. I know it's hard rock and heavy metal, but this is still, it needs to be talked about. It's such a good album. All right, going back into teenage years now, we get hit with probably, I think, the only thrash metal album, and it's obvious probably which one it is. It's obviously Master of Puppets, Metallica's Master of Puppets from 1986. I didn't like Metallica until I was about 17, I think, 16, 17. I heard Sandman when I was younger, and I was just like, nah, I think I did. I don't think I liked it because of how popular it was. I'm pretty sure that's right. But then I heard "The God That Failed" off the Black Album, and I was like, okay, that's actually a cool riff. And then I found out who they were, where they came from, and obviously this is the album that I fell in love with. As an upcoming guitar player as well, learning to play puppets was just insane and just such a mission. But I got it down. I got puppets down. You could take either side of this album to argue which one's better. Obviously, side A has Battery, Puppets, the song. The thing that should not be, which is just this fat, heavy chug. I would say it's almost doom metal, but it's obviously too technical to be doom metal. But it's got a doom metal vibe. You know what I mean? It's just slow and chug and heavy. You feel like it's a song that gets dragged because it's so heavy. Welcome Home, Sanitarium, really really cool. Which is probably the ballad. You know. You have to say it's the ballad. Great song. But my favorite song of this album is Disposable Heroes. Disposable Heroes is absolutely phenomenal. It's a fantastic song. The picking in it is just ridiculous. The solo in it is mad. It's just an epic song full of everything that early Metallica are all about. Le Messiah, fantastic song. So heavy again. And so fast as well. Orion, the epic 8.5 minute instrumental, really really good, letting Cliff Burton real shine there. And Damage Inc. Damage Inc. is just this chaotic thrash song that it's just absolutely perfect. Literally every song on this album is deemed incredible. Literally, probably the only one I would skip on here is Sanitarium, but I probably wouldn't even skip it. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, it's so good. Again, a bit like all them, I probably don't need to tell you to go listen to it, but I'm going to, just in case you haven't. Go listen to Master of Puppets. Coming in a bit more recent now. Well, I say recent. This album is 2008, I'm pretty sure. And that is Trivium's magnum opus, Shogun. This album reminds me of working. I found it when I left school and went into the workforce, and my God, I played it all the damn time. It was just that next level of something that was a tiny bit heavier than everything that I was listening to. And musically, it's incredibly intricate and so clear and catchy and heavy and just all things good, really. Trivium's Shogun is, like I say, their magnum opus, and they haven't done anything better. Sin in the Sentence was amazing, but this one will always take the cake. Chris, the first song, great. Torn Between Skylar and WWS. Again, these songs are awesome, but the song that made me want this album, like want to hear this album more and more, was Down From the Sky, the quick 5-minute single. So good, but again, so brutally heavy at the same time. Honestly, the only song on this album I would skip is probably The Calamity. Again, I've never liked it. It's just always, when I hear that first riff, I'm just like, no thanks. But literally everything else on this album is phenomenal. The Throes of Perdition. Yep, Insurrection's got a great riff. Of Prometheus and the Crucifix, that's great. Like a Callisto and a Star in Heaven. Listen to these track names, man. They're insane. Honestly, it's such a great album. I will actually recommend, please go listen to Shogun. It's really good. If you get your hands on the deluxe edition as well, there's some extra bonus tracks which are genuinely really, really good. Upon the Shores is phenomenal. It's like a more death metal type sound, but my God, it's good. But yeah, Shogun. Onto progressive metal now. It's the band I'm wearing, my favorite Dream Theater album, Octavarium. 80 minutes of pure, progressive, typical Dream Theater-ness. This album is absolutely fantastic, full stop, from start to finish. Again, I had a whole video on what makes this album phenomenal, so if you're keen, you can go and check that out, where I discuss this album completely in way more depth than I'm about to right now. But yeah, Dream Theater's Octavarium. What is there to say about this? It's got 8 songs. There's eight notes in the musical alphabet. Each song's in a different key. But aside from all that, every song on here is great. The one I would skip is probably... I'd probably skip Sacrifice Sons, but it's not... I do love it too. It's just... It feels a bit drawn out, that song. But anyway, The Root of All Evil is easily top 3 Dream Theater songs on here, in my opinion. The Answer Lies Within and These Walls, they're shorter and they're catchy as well. Everything on this album is catchy. Even the slower stuff is catchy. Like I Walk Beside You. That's kind of... It's kind of... Is that the kind of slow one? Yeah. but it picks up in the end. Panic Attack, which has this awesome bass intro that you have no idea what's going on. Honestly, it sounds like a panic attack. It's so amazing. Yeah, Never Enough and Sacrifice Sons was awesome. But then the title track, the 24-minute song, Octavarium, which, if you're any familiar with Dream Theater, is very typical of what they do. It's the 8th song. It's 24 minutes long because there's 24 hours in a day before the day starts again. You know, this album ends the same way the album starts. It's one of those things. Honestly, it's so good. If you want, like I say, if you want more in-depth detail, go watch that video. It's so good. Dream Theater's Octavarium. Now this one is one of my most recent purchases, and I found it on a Spotify playlist out of nowhere. It's The Dark Element, featuring Annette Olson and Yanni I can't read it backwards. The guy from Stratovarius. Annette is my favorite Nightwish singer, which is probably no surprise as to why this album is phenomenal. This is these guys' second release. It's called The Songs the Night Sings, and my God, since when I heard that song, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was blown away. It was some of the most catchiest, fun, inspirational metal too. It's not so symphonic like Nightwish. It's a lot more, it gives me Amaranthe type vibes, if you know what I mean. But Annette's the only singer, so there's no like growling or anything in it. But my God, it's amazing. Not Your Monster, Songs the Night Sings, Side A is phenomenal. When It All Comes Down, Silence Between the Words, and Pills on My Pillow, they're all great songs too. The only one I would skip on here is track 8, and that is Get Out of My Head. I've talked about this album before in another video. I said it sounds like a Hilary Duff song. It sounds like a Disney Channel type song that would that's gone metal. It's still catchy though, but yeah, it's just a tiny bit dumb. And If I Had a Heart and You Will Learn and I Have to Go, they're all great songs. Now I will comfortably say, please go and actually check this one out. It's so good. If you don't want to listen to the whole album, that's fine. Just listen to The Songs the Night Sings and The Pallbearer Walks Alone. Those are the 2 best songs on this album. But yeah, The Dark Element, Songs the Night Sing. Go check it out. Nearly there, team. Going back to 1976, Rainbow Rising. Pretty sure one of the originators of power metal. For the longest time, I was convinced that this was Rainbow's debut. It's actually not. It's Rainbow's second release, but that's neither here nor there. It's so amazing. 6 tracks, 5 minutes long. Just pure amazingness. It's Ronnie James Dio, Richie Blackmore, Cozy Powell. Honestly, it's such a dynamic group, and it's just everything about it is phenomenal. Tara Woman, Run with the Wolf, Starstruck, Do You Close Your Eyes? That's all side A. Tara Woman is great. And Run with the Wolf is fun. Do You Close Your Eyes is cool. But side 2, Stargazer and A Light in the Black, they are just phenomenal. A whole side devoted to those 2 songs is just great. And I've actually just remembered, I did a video on this album too, why it's great. So again, if you want it in more depth, go watch that. But yeah, this album is awesome. I freaking love it. This is probably one of my most played LPs. But yeah, honestly, if you like power metal and you haven't really delved into the past, I would please highly recommend Rainbow Rising. It's a phenomenal album and an iconic piece of history that is just still to this day. What is it? 1976, 2022. So what's that? 46 years ago. Still sounds great power metal is what power metal is today, but it sounds good, but it doesn't sound like this. Honestly, Rainbow Rising, go get it. And then the last one takes a bit of a dark turn. Some black metal, doom and black metal for you. Woods of Ypres, Woods 5, Grey Skies, and Electric Light. I have a huge personal connection with this album. It helped me through a terrible, terrible time in my life. And I got a Spotify stat on this album when I was listening to it, and I listened to it for something ridiculous, like 190 hours. No, that can't be right. 190. Oh, maybe it was. I don't know, but something outrageous like that. But honestly, it's one of the most depressing albums I've ever heard. But unlike DSBM, Depressive Suicidal Black Metal, it's way more catchy and so much more musical than any black metal ever. It sounds good too. It's not on a terrible production quality. Lightning and Snow is a great opener and one of the more black metal stuff. There's some black metal stuff on here, but then there's just, dark, depressing and doomy low stuff as well. It's honestly amazing. Lightning and Snow is great. Death Is Not an Exit is cool. Keeper of the Ledger was great. Traveling Alone is probably the catchiest song on this whole album. It's so cool. It's about being challenged by someone who's got religious views. It's really, really amazing. Adora Vivos, which is about not worshipping the dead. Again, so cool. Silver, which is actually really, really sad. Just the song about, being alone, really. And then you flip the side, and a song that I've grown to like quite recently. It wasn't always my favorite, but Career Suicide Is Not Real Suicide. That's got an obviously different meaning to the rest of the album. But yeah, if you want to give up your job and have a better life because of it, you can do it. It's not ultimate suicide. It's just career suicide. It's okay. Modern Life Architecture, for me, is probably one of the weakest songs on the album, which is weird because it's like an 8-minute song, so you think it would be one of the epics, but it's not. The epic comes afterwards. Kiss My Ashes Goodbye. Fantastic song. As depressing and sad as it is, it's actually phenomenal. Please give it a chance. If you're feeling sad about anything, or if you're feeling really, really sad about something, go give this album a listen. But prepare to be confronted. I'll say that. You've been warned. Finality and Alternate Ending. Honestly, every song on here, minus Modern Life Architecture, is just great. I think it's a fantastic album. Still gets played so much today. The spine's a bit broken. But yeah, this was one of the first LPs I ever owned too. I think this was. It was great. But yeah, go listen to Woods of Ypres if you're not in the best mood. Awesome as team. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I go over my top 10 albums of all time. My top 10 heavy metal albums of all time. Like I say, they're not in any order. There's just 10 of them. Let me know down below what albums you love. Let me know down below why mine suck. Let me know all that other stuff. You know what I like. Thank you so much for watching, team. Hang out for the next video, but until that happens, stay inside, stay safe, wash your hands and all that jazz. Hail Satan, and I will see you all in the next video.